Thing. If you're not familiar with The Thing, here's the basic rundown of all three movies. A team at a remote polar outpost has an alien stalking them. The original film, called The Thing from Another World, is a black and white sci-fi film about a humanoid plant creature that crashed in the Arctic and was buried in the ice. A scientific research team and some Air Force personnel are holed up at a base and find the creature, accidentally thawing it from the ice. There's a dumbass scientist who thinks the creature can be reasoned with despite it continually killing things, feasting on blood, and demonstrating enough intelligence to know how to fight them. The asshole even takes some seed pods from the creature and tries to grow them. I'm just glad the monster shoved him aside at the end. I know many people consider this film to be really, really great, and I admit it's a good science fiction film, especially for its time, but in the end, I don't think it holds a candle to its remake. John Carpenter's The Thing is a masterwork of suspense. While the Arctic was just kind of there in the original film to keep the crew from radioing for help, the Antarctic atmosphere of The Thing truly works to its advantage. You feel how cold this place is, especially after every time they have to go outside in the storm. The basic plot is that a Norwegian chasing a dog arrives at the camp screaming and trying to shoot at it. When they investigate the Norwegian outpost, you see that this place has gone through absolute hell, and we quickly find out why. The dog is a shape-shifting alien that absorbs other creatures and imitates them perfectly. And because the dog had been wandering around the camp for the better part of a day, no one is certain of who's infected by the thing and who isn't. Because there are plenty of scenes where characters aren't shown, the audience is put in the same position as the characters. We don't know who to trust. Even Kurt Russell, who serves as the main protagonist, could be an unreliable narrator. I know James Rolfe has said that the special effects of the film ruin it a bit because they're too gruesome, but frankly, I think this shows it as the king of practical effects over CGI for horror films. And don't get me wrong, CGI is not a bad thing and sometimes necessary, but a lot of films don't integrate it well, and in the end, something that the actors are actually interacting with is always going to be more interesting than something that isn't. The effects for The Thing truly show how completely and utterly alien it is, and there is nothing that we fear more than what's different. And then there was the prequel that came out last year. Look, I'll be honest with you, I don't think the prequel is entirely awful. It had a lot of good ideas, but it's not half as scary as the Carpenter film, and for a prequel to that movie, The Thing is wildly inconsistent from that film. In the prequel, the thing is really damn fast, really damn strong, and while in the Carpenter film it was smart, took its time, and only revealed itself when it absolutely had to, in the prequel it reveals itself over and over for no damn reason! And as I said before, the CGI is not integrated well, and half the creatures were clearly not really there. Plus, the thing rarely looked like some hideous monstrosity birthed from your nightmares. It was just this big gaggle of tentacles. And you want to know what my favorite part about John Carpenter's The Thing is? Nobody was stupid!
I know I'm human. And if you were all these things, then you'd just attack me right now. So some of you are still human.
Seriously, the characters act exactly how anyone with half a brain would act in this situation. In the prequel, the characters are complete and utter morons. And hell, it didn't even take advantage of the fact that we have people from two different nationalities in play. And yes, I've heard from people that Norwegians are taught English at an early age, but damn it, if you don't use that English, like, say, being at an Antarctic research station with only other Norwegians around, you'll probably start to forget it. And in a movie that's supposed to be about paranoia, tension, and mistrust, they don't utilize a very basic way of building mistrust? Not being able to communicate with each other? Ugh, like I said, the prequel had good ideas, but it did not take advantage of them. So